Is it possible that good advice can come from a bad advisor? Fish at 6, like live, date night. Dallas Cowboys fake fan troll Skip Bayless has taken it upon himself to use his pulpit on national TV, little watched as it is, nobody watches it, but it is a show, to counsel one of your favorite Dallas Cowboys, the young all-pro standout Micah Parsons. That's right, Skip Bayless is offering to give Micah advice. I'm Mike Fisher, your trusty and trusted reporter. This is the Fishbowl. That is a star. Skip's lame performance featured the contrarian con man advising Parsons to wake up, and grow up. After Cowboys team leader Parsons sounded off at media critics of teammate Dak Prescott. Said Micah, I don't condone the bashing of Dak and the Cowboys. Why don't critics bring the same energy to the Eagles? We want the same energy for everybody. There's a whole bunch of bashing when it comes to Dak, but not the same when it's the Eagles. And of course, you as a fishhead in Cowboy Nation, 67,000 strong, you know that's true. He's right. The energy used on the Cowboys is different than the energy used on not just the Eagles. We'll keep going down that list here in a moment. Micah, 24 years old? 23, 24 years old, and his evaluation shows wisdom beyond his tender years. The Cowboys are, in fact, talked about in ways that the other 31 NFL teams are not talked about. That's a fact. I'm not sure that it's good for ESPN or Fox FS1 or whatever that they do that. I don't know. I mean, what do I know? I talk about the Cowboys all the time too, so what do I know? I know that when I'm in the gym or in the barbershop or in the bar or in, it's on ESPN. And I see it up there. And my sense is, I never checked, my sense is that there's like 9 hours of morning programming or whatever. Get up and then get down and then get over and then get out. And I mean, I look up there and I see a segment about the Cowboys like every 3 segments. I don't see segments about the Seahawks or the Bengals or the Buccaneers. I just see the Cowboys. So Micah's right. Whether it's positive or negative, and obviously there's a lot of money to be made to be negative. The Cowboys are talked about in ways that the other 31 NFL teams are not. In fact, I would say that the national debate shows, if you were really going to do a measure of it, I won't bother. It's just up in the corner. If they'd let me change it, I'd change it. I would say that the national debate shows quite likely spend more time dissecting America's team than they do, not just the Eagles, more than all the other franchises combined. So, Micah, once he's made aware of this phenomenon, this bias, he's right to think it. He just before Fish at 6 tonight, he did another thing. He went on Twitter again. He said, I can't believe these TV guys, these people are worse than the trolls on Twitter. We should do something about it. And I almost tweeted back at him, and I'm like, you can do something about it. Quit consuming it. And that's advice that I've given you over the years because of what I know about Skip Bayless, the person. And many of you have come to me and said, Fish, thanks for that. I had no idea that that's how this thing worked. And I feel like I'm doing you a public service. At the same time, Marcia urges me to not do this too often, and I don't think I do it too often. That Micah brought this up, and then Skip dragged himself into the picture as if he's Micah's advisor. Micah is right to think about it. He's right to think it. Once it's in his head, he's right to think it and think about it. The issue is, why is it in his head? Why does Micah or any other Cowboy player pay attention to this white noise? And as you know, we've talked about this before. I've said this to Dez. I used to say it all the time. To Dez Bryant, Terrence Williams, and Cole Beasley. As a group, we had conferences about it. The four of us. Why would you go on Twitter and argue with somebody about the route that you ran when you know about route running and the guy you're arguing with is a construction worker? What are you doing? Increasingly, by the way, with me, and I know that we have our classroom bar room here every night, Fish at 6, 7:20 in the morning, by the way, breakfast at Fish and East live as well, unless I'm on a date, then I'll tape it. The arguing doesn't get. I mean, I don't exchange. I don't have those conversations on Twitter anymore. I see some of my colleagues doing it. F you, you're an ass, shut up. Like, these are professional sports writers, guys that have worked for NFL teams, and they're arguing with bartenders and shoe salesmen and Uber drivers about how to run a route. What are we doing? I don't argue on Twitter, and I don't wear a jersey to an NFL stadium. Never, ever, ever, ever. For fear that you're going to see me in that video. And you're going to see me walking through the corridor, and you're going to see someone come up behind me and hit me in the head with a baseball bat at a football game. Or with their fist, or with their shoe, or what? It's madness. So Michael, why are you interested in what they have to say? Whether it's the sports comedian Stephen A. Smith, whose shtick is to pretend he hates the Cowboys, or from the malicious Skip Bayless, whose shtick is to pretend he loves the Cowboys. And yes, I said pretend. And if you're not hip to this yet, go Google me. Google me. That's a good, by the way, if you're a single man and she asks, what do you do for a living? Google me. Makes you sound big. Plus, she's going to Google you anyway. In one sense, Skip is essentially urging Parsons to quit paying attention to Skip. And people like him. He says, Micah, you have to wake up. You play for the most polarizing team in sports, Bayless said in his diatribe. And that polarization, as you and I know, is part of the fun and part of the frustration of being America's team, as we talked about this morning. But there's an irony here. If Micah Parsons was interested in my advice, I would give it to him on sincerity or lack thereof in journalism, on the white noise inside and outside the building, on how you should use social media. Guys, football players, if you're listening, and you might be, social media is to send photos of your kids to their grandma and to promote your foundations. That's it. That's the only value that it has for you. Everything else is negative. Nothing else good comes of it. Nothing. Promote your cause. I'm on Twitter to tell people that I'm on CowboysSI.com and on the Fish Report on YouTube. That's it. And sometimes I'll put up a photo of my hot wife. That's it. Braggy. Humble braggy. But there's an irony here with what Skip's doing. And the irony is inescapable. And it brings into question the validity of anything and everything that oozes out of his pie hole. Skip is one of the original creators, or better put, one of the original perpetrators of journalism gone wrong. He has for 30 years falsified stories about sports celebrities, written books questioning everything from the faith of Tom Landry to the sexuality of Troy Aikman. He has doubted the manhood of everybody from Dak Prescott to LeBron James. Again, this is ironic if you know Skip, that he's questioning the manhood of people. And he's maybe most proud, and he's done videos on this, he's most proud of what he terms his clever knack for issuing mean girl nicknames. He's got a video out there in which he brags that he once created a nickname for Joe Flacco, Joe Fluco. He's got a video out there saying that he once created a nickname for Kyle Bowler. He created a nickname for Kyle Bowler? Kyle, I should have been a bowler. He used to call the baseball player Jeff Kent. Jeff Kant. Get it? Can't. And in a weird but running theme that strikes some odd chords, he has a habit of feminizing the names of male athlete, as when he calls Dallas's own NBA star Chris Bosh Spice. Get it? Like he's a Spice Girl. Unless you're a fan of third grade level puns, this junk is more hateful than it is clever. Most of all, what it is infantile, which is why the reprehensible Skip Bayless giving advice to the Dallas Cowboys, Micah Parsons, or any of them, while pretending he's on their side and on their team, positively stinks of irony. Fish out.